everyone. Welcome to Heroes of the Humblewood. This is our Humblewood Patreon campaign. Everyone that you see here on the screen is one of our Patreons. Shout out to all of our Patreons. Because of them, everything that we do here is possible. All the 1-shots, 2-shots, 3-shots, marathons, everything under the sun. So thank you so much to my lovely Patreons here and all of our other Patreons as well. Thank you so much to Technique for the raid and also the gift subs. Please enjoy your ad-free viewing and your corgi emotes. Thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead and just move on right through it. If you want to see previous episodes of our Humblewood campaign, they are available on our YouTube. You can head on over there at Stelluna TV, including all of the episodes of our other campaigns as well. If you want to interact with the game, there's a couple of ways you can do so. Just hanging out, lurking, chatting, shitposting, all the fun stuff will get you channel points, which you can redeem for free into advantage die or blessings, which are essentially rerolls. It's a way that you can interact with the stream and help out the players in those moments where they just need that little bit of push. So please feel free to distribute those as you like and make sure you include the name of the player that you want to give them to. Or if you want to add an element of fate to the narrative, every $10 guarantees a draw from the deck of many things to the player of your choice. A lot of these are interesting plot devices. We'll just leave it at that. Some are very good. Some are very bad. All of them are pretty funny, in my opinion. There's a lot that can go wrong, and I think they're absolutely wonderful. Another way that you can interact with the stream is something called a natural 20, in which I want to say thank you so much, Vertigo Cross, for the natural 20s to everyone. So at the beginning of this session here today, please write that down. You have a pocket natural 20. This is essentially just a handy critical success you can put in your back pocket for that moment where you just want to deal an additional amount of damage, or if you really want to pass a certain check and have a star moment. That's what it's for. So please enjoy. Thank you so much, Fee. Let's jump right into it. Please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and tell us a little bit about your character. And we'll start off with Matthew.
Hey guys, I'm Matthew, or B Street Holmes. That's what you can find me on Stella's Discord or on X Twitter. I am playing Ratchet Bluefeather, a rogue who actually, now that we're in Alderheart, previously lived here and for a lot of reasons moved his way out to the country. And this is his first time home in a long time.
Excellent. Thank you very much. GeekDice, why don't you go next?
Hey folks, I'm GeekDice. You can find me over on X. Today, I am playing Leif Woodshaper. He is a Dusk Corvum wizard, a young boy, a young man. He has been exiled from this place. And actually, he really shouldn't be here. His family did something. People say that they were involved in burning down the forest, which is a big deal around here. So he's trying to lay low. We'll see how that works out.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We'll pop on over to IncognitoBurrito.
Good evening, folks. IncognitoBurrito. You find me hanging out with these fine folks on Stella's Discord or here, playing the character Hubert Hootenanny. We're going to have a hoot tonight. Hope you all ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll head on over to Vertigo Cross, starring special guest Lavelli.
Hello, I'm Vertigo V. This is my bird Lavelli. She's a little poop demon.
Excellent.
I am a variety game streamer over on Twitch. Hang out, and you might see some games that you're not expecting. And for our session here, I am playing as Jack Hart, a Vulpin bard who everybody trusts to do the right thing and never causes trouble.
A resounding applaud of affirmation from the entire party. That's definitely what happens every time.
Every time.
Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, and you don't say you're the least, I will fight you, zombie.
One day I could be the least if I believe hard enough. Hello, I am Jacob. I'm Zombie. I am Z. What else you to call me? I'm the lore keeper and Captain Z of the Good Ship Clip. I probably do too many clips, so it's up to your own discretion. Today I played Leon, professional wrestler extraordinaire. Yeah, on my way to being the world's heavyweight champion. But first we gotta stop here at Alderheart and get all this government stuff out of the way. It should be fun, I guess, for someone who likes C-SPAN. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter or on Blue Sky at ZombieFighter89. If you go there, you'll find a document there, Google Doc sheet. It's got all kinds of stuff that I've worked on, various clips I've done, edits I've done, highlights I've made. If anything like that interests you at all and you like the work that I do and we can work together, great. I'm easy to work with, as I'm sure Stella and everyone, and some other people can attest to. Just go ahead and email me. I get my emails in one of the tweets there as well, or just shoot me on any of those DMs on any of those websites and we can negotiate.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Last time on Humblewood, we finally made our approach to Alderheart, the heart of the Humblewood, the capital city. Came upon this gargantuan tree with a canopy that spanned very, very many miles. And in the boughs and the nooks and crannies of this tree, we could see just a countless throng of houses and homes. The denizens of the Humblewood all live here. Not all of them. A significant amount of them, though. This is the most significant settlement here in the Humblewood. As we made our approach, escorting Eliza, the Allurin merchant, cue the art. Where is she? Where's our girl? Eliza. I should just have like a macro set up. Yeah, show to players. This is very important. Everyone
Just put her in the little party art.
I should.
Yeah.
I should just have like a permanent, like, just her picture just permanently available. We'll just make an additional player camera, and it's just Eliza on the screen. This is Eliza. So we spent the last episode essentially escorting her back to Alderheart, where she was going to take over the shop that belonged to her late sister. And as we made our ascent into Alderheart, taking the massive lift that was large enough to carry her cart and all of you, we went through the various districts and parts of Alderheart, and with Leif's guidance and explanation, we were all made aware of the different communities, essentially, along the way. Some parts of Alderheart, for those of you that have been here before, were familiar. Other parts have been clearly changed. A significant number of refugees have settled here, especially in the Trunk District, around the market there. Ramshackle houses and tents erected to serve as a place for shelter for these displaced people. And you have seen that there is some measure of disarray here. There are whispers of bandits on the wind, and we know that though the Perch Guard is here and available to keep the denizens safe, they are stretched thin. You yourselves encountered bandits along the way, so how much longer can Alderheart itself stay safe? After helping Eliza get settled into her shop, we decided to close out for the night to find a place to rest. And it is essentially heading over to Ratchet's sister's dwelling that we decided to go this night. That's a little... Okay. You leave the Canopy Market behind. Begin to make your way through the boughs of Alderheart here, descending amongst the pathways that will take you into the boughs, which is representative of number 3 on this map here. It was introduced to you on your introduction of Alderheart that this is where affluent homes can be found. Ratchet, you know that your sister is established enough as she moved here. You know her address, though perhaps you have not had a chance to see her in a very long time. So it is you that is leading the group of your companions here as you're wandering through the streets of the boughs here. You see manicured homes, and they have a very apparent charm to them. Where most of the homes in the other areas of Alderheart are deliberately shaped out of wood, you can see that though the bones of these houses here are also made of the wood of the tree, they have been embellished significantly. You can see lacquer and shellac essentially garnishing the domes of these homes. There are a great many stained windows that make for a vantage point of some attic or multiple floors of these dwellings. Some of them even have gazebos and manicured lawns. There are a number of lanterns that are set up along these pathways that wind between these intricate houses. The lanterns softly glow by firelight. Ratchet, as the camera slowly pans onto you, what do we see on your face? It's been a very long time since your last time in Alderheart.
I think mostly concentration. It's starting to get a little darker out, if I recall, and we're following roads he hasn't traveled in a while. So he's trying to remember, oh yeah, I remember that house, and I think it's a left up here. And he's very much focused on making sure that they don't get lost here. In the back of his mind, he's hoping very much that as a creature of habit, Esmer has not changed addresses. If she's moved, then he is leading them into an entire district where they don't know anyone.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll me survival at advantage. Let's see how you navigate these urban pathways.
Say 20.
Love the idea of rolling survival in the rich neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you serious? Yeah. Okay, 21. Excellent. You remember these streets very well. The memories of you and your sister Esmer wandering through here have imprinted deeply on you. And almost on instinct, though you haven't set eyes on a lot of these landmarks in such a great time, you move without needing to do much of a second thought. Trailing behind you are the rest of your companions. What do we see with you here in the dark of Alderheart? Tomorrow is a very big day.
I think Leon would be he kind of would be wherever I guess would be best. He's kind of used to like, okay, I carry the cart, but now that we're not doing that anymore, he's just kind of like, do you want me to help lead? Do you want me to help whatever? And then whatever is decided, he'll either be like, he'll basically just be on guard just in case. Like he assumes nothing might happen in the city, but like also it's a giant city. And like who knows, like he very much thinks that it's both safe but not safe at the same time.
Okay. It sounds like you're trying to keep an eye out, essentially.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let me get a perception check from you.
Perception. There we go.
Okay. 15. See Leon looking around as you follow after Ratchet.
Looking.
What about Hubert?
Keeping an eye out for bandits.
Okay.
No, just keeping watch. being the bouncer.
Okay. Let me get... So I'll let you have a choice here. You can either focus on trying to keep an eye out and see what's going on around you, or if you'd like to create like an imposing presence, trying to like kind of put on a show and look formidable, I'd like an intimidation check. So you can choose one, perception or intimidation.
Perception.
Okay. A 5. Okay. I think perhaps you've never been in this part of the city before. So I feel like a lot of what you are looking around and seeing for the first time is a bit overwhelming. These houses are very, very nice. We don't see these kinds of establishments outside of Alderheart. Towns and cities that you're used to are generally more to support farmland or research outposts. This is elegance. This is opulence. How does Hubert feel about seeing all of that?
Cool. New, interesting things.
Yeah. I think that makes perfect sense.
A whole new world.
Fantastic way to.
I think that makes perfect sense with the 5 perception. You're trying to keep a watch, but there's just so much to watch.
Huh? Overload.
Yeah, absolutely. What about Leif?
So I think Leif is familiar with all the various sections of the city, but it's been a couple years, and already we've seen there's a few things that are different now that Leif was not prepared for, such as just the large number of people that are refugees and now taking refuge and shelter here in the Great Tree. Nonetheless, he has his hood up and he's kind of slouching, and it seems apparent to anybody at the party that looks at him that he's trying to keep a low profile. And what's going through Leif's mind at this point is probably not so much a concern of he'll be seen by the guards or what have you, but more so that somebody will recognize him. Earlier in the day, he had gone to the bakery or to the restaurant to find food for the party, and he was immediately recognized. It was almost like he forgot about that part, that people will remember him. And that was an awkward moment. He didn't want to draw attention to himself. So that's kind of the mode that he's in now. He's just like, he's just kind of shrunk it out on himself, and his hood is up, and you see him glancing side to side. He's not watching out for guards. He doesn't want to be seen by anybody who knows him. Last thing he wants is a scene. So it's just really kind of watching out for himself at this point.
Okay, let me get a stealth check from you.
Maybe not so great. An 11.
11. You feel that you are being discreet enough. Like, if you move with the group, perhaps you would be the less of the most interesting here. What about Jack?
So as they're walking along, Jack has pretty much a grimace on their face, looking around slowly and clearly not happy. For the most part, they are sticking behind Hubert in their shadow, just trying not to be really seen or noticed.
Okay. Make it a stealth check from you, too. This is so interesting. I just love the wide gamut of emotion that we have here.
8.
8. Okay. Very similar to Leif. You feel that being behind Hubert, you're not going to be the very first person to draw attention, but the group of you are moving together, and that in itself might be interesting enough to get a glance or two. With that 21 survival, Ratchet, you're able to maneuver very quickly through the boughs, and it's still light is dying of the afternoon and enough to help you navigate even with the darkness descending. You come across Esmer's old house. And carrying over that 21, you remember it very, very well. You remember that Esmer had an affinity for collecting things. She absolutely loved to have trinkets in her yard, and she liked to collect small porcelain mushrooms and creatures, various fantastical things that live outside of Alderheart that she wouldn't have had a chance to see herself, but could be purchased from the hands of an artist. That is the first thing you notice about her house. Those small, charming pieces of fantastical dreams, they're not here. Instead, you find a mostly barren garden. You can see that it is overgrown just enough that it hasn't been trimmed in maybe a month or two, but it isn't completely abandoned. Some of the hedges are unruly and out of shape. Other than that, you see that there is a soft light coming from somewhere deeper in the house. It is flooding through the windows of the stained glass. So someone is home. This particular dwelling is 2 stories tall. You know that this is an expensive home, but Esmer has the means to take care of that.
Is unexpected. I certainly hope she hasn't moved since I was last in town.
Well, if she did, you get to explain to the stranger why we're knocking on their door.
Suppose I'll have to. Let's go knock, and he'll head towards the front door.
Okay. As you approach the front door, you see that there is a brass instrument that you can use to knock with it. What do you look like right now? What is the person who opens this door going to see?
From the time traveling, I suspect that his gear and his cloak are probably a little messy, probably some muddy boots, although dried by this point because they've been away from the swamps for a few days, and desperately in need of a bird bath.
Okay. You can hear the sounds of someone stirring inside. They begin to approach, and within a few minutes, the door is pulled free, and you see someone that you recognize. Can you describe to me what Esmer looks like?
Esmer shares a lot of the brown and white coloring, almost a golden brown that that Ratchet has. A little taller than him and very slender. And there's something in the look to her eyes, at least normally, I don't know, perhaps now, but that always looks like she's on the verge of something clever. Like she's been thinking about something and it's just on the tip of her tongue.
You see the shape of the person you knew, and you find that it isn't exactly how you remember it. That cleverness, that twinkle in her eye, it isn't there. You see instead someone scared, someone uncertain, and a bit on guard, eyes wide as they behold you. You can all feel that it takes a second for her to recognize who you are. And without hesitation, once that clicks, she throws herself forward and she tries to hug you.
I think it's one of those, like, he's momentarily startled, not that he didn't expect it, but more that he's just not used to being hugged these days, living out on his own as he has been. And so there's sort of this moment where like his hands are up before he finishes the embrace to hold her in. And as the hug breaks and they sort of step away from each other, he says, Esmer, your garden isn't as it was. Where did my magpie sister go?
You can immediately see her eyes color with some kind of cryptic sadness. She doesn't answer you. She instead begins to pull on your wrist, and you can tell she's trying to guide you inside. Immediately, she looks over your shoulder at the others, and Leif, Hubert, Jack, Leon. When Esmer looks at you, she looks like someone who's afraid. And the group of you haven't given her something to be afraid of, and so you get the sense that this is a fear even before she opened the door.
Yeah, when she looks my way, I bow, probably more than needed, maybe a little bit awkwardly, like just the awkward youth that he is. Of course, Justice Hood back down.
Leon, I think we'll take note of that and kind of look at her and go, hi, we appreciate, I guess I shouldn't, I don't know what to say. I was gonna say appreciate you letting us in, but I don't know if she knows that we're staying, so I guess he'll just, you know what, no, Leon will just smile and nod, but take note of it.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay. Do you know these people, Ratchet?
I've been traveling with them. We actually came with some urgent news from the council.
Oh. There's a hesitation in the air, and immediately upon knowing that they are not a threat, her eyes leave the group of you, and she begins to look around, almost as if trying to see if you're being followed. And Ratchet, I think you immediately click and see this. You get the sense that she's afraid of someone else being here.
Let us in. We can discuss it inside.
Yes, please. And she steps aside, pulling the door open further.
Come on, guys.
Yep, walking in. Yep.
Okay. As the group of you begin to move and shuffle inside, she closes the door pretty much immediately. Ratchet, you find that these walls are bare. The many portraits and trinkets that she has collected over the years of living here in Alderheart, they are gone. You can see literal shadows of where dust has settled, showing the outlines of where things used to be, but they are no longer. The house is not in a state of disarray. It doesn't look like someone came in and stole something. There is an order to it and a very particular sort of control that you know Esmer has with her dwelling. There seems like a ghost of what it used to be.
I know I teased, but I've never seen your home like this before. And you're clearly worried about something or someone. What's going on?
We can get to that shortly. Are you all right? You all look a bit worn for wear. And she begins to look all of you up and down, from your feet to your heads.
We've come all the way from Meadowfen.
Meadowfen. Oh.
Esmer, Ash Barrow's gone.
What? And you see all the color draining from her face, her eyes wide, her beak falling open as she just stares at you.
It was them. And we're worried that Meadowfen is next. We've come to see if any aid can be offered by Alderheart, because Meadowfen will not survive this on its own. If the creatures turn our way next, Meadowfen's gone.
See her pull on the edges of the robe that she's wearing. She shrouds herself in it, almost trying to find some kind of comfort from the fabric, and she says, This is terrible. You need to speak to the council. Is that why you're here?
Yes. They need to know, and any aid they can provide will be very, very appreciated.
I'm afraid that you've caught me at a very inopportune time. I will speak to the council and try to grant you an early audience. I will, however, try to temper your expectations. And she's looking at a group of you, addressing all of you at the same time. Alderheart has been in very bad shape. You know that the Humblewood has been under fire. The bandits, thieves, and murderers have been abound, and the perch guard is stretched very thin. We are trying to assist people as much as we can, as far as we can, and even our very home is at capacity. But we will speak to the council, I promise you.
Ratchet will swing his bag around and start rummaging through it to pull out the note that we got from the magistrate at Winnowing Reach. Say, for whatever help this might offer, he vouches for us.
She takes it and she takes a moment to read it, and then she gives it back to you. This is good. This will help you get past the guards. At the very least, it should get you into the lobby. From there, it might be a bit uncertain. I can join you to try to expedite some things. We will not be able to do anything until light.
That comes to the reason we actually found ourselves on your doorstep. It has been a bit of a journey to get here. You wouldn't happen to have space for a few people to stay the night.
She gives you that sort of wry smile, and just for a split second, you see that clever light taking one of her eyes, and she says, more space than ever, I suppose. And she sort of gestures over into the main chamber of her house, and you can see the table, the couches. She has the bare minimum here. It used to be teeming with blankets, with plants that were just spilling over every countertop, but they are all gone now. Plenty of space for your friends. Please, get comfortable. We should have a few more blankets upstairs. Unfortunately, I think most of you might have to sleep on the floor, but at least it's warm.
I very much appreciate this. Thank you. And he pulls out of his backpack a bedroll and kind of gives a thumbs up. As long as I got a place to lay down, I'm fine.
Yes, and let me get some hot water and tea ready for you. Please. I will be right back. And she gives Ratchet's hand a bit of a squeeze. She goes upstairs.
Ranger Ratchet, your sister, your sister, right? I guess she has some influence. She can get us in the council. What does she do?
Well, she's actually council executive. She sort of arranges their meetings, takes the notes, keeps the minutes, and those manner of things. No direct power, of course. She can't order them to see us, but she makes sure things run smoothly.
Jack has been slowly looking around the room as they entered the building and is slightly a pace behind everyone else. As Ratchet's sister steps out of the room, Jack eventually slowly turns to look at him. I don't mean to offend, really, but are you sure she still has this influence? I've seen signs like this before, and it usually speaks of a great debt.
Be honest, if you'd asked me on our way to Alderheart, I would have told you she never would have given up the decor. She has always loved life and any reminder of it, art, plants, anything to make a place tell stories. This is not something I could have predicted. You can tell from as he says this, and his eyes venture over a table that maybe has a few dead leaves on it from where a plant used to sit, or to a couch that is in desperate need of a decorative blanket draped across the back that he's filling in a lot of these gaps in his mind with things that used to be there, and there is genuine worry on his face.
Jack lets out a bit of a defeated sigh at that. I'm not sure it might be entirely the best idea to bring her along with us. In this society, appearance means a lot. If she has an enemy of greater status than her own, it could hinder us more than it helps us to bring her along.
As you say that, there's the sound of pots and pans moving around in the kitchen. You can hear the sound of running water as she clearly gets some kettle going. She wanders into the main room again, and you see tucked under one of her wings is a great number of blankets. And they seem to be of middling quality. Some of them look like they are very old and kind of torn at the edges. She begins to lay them out, trying to make your settling in as comfortable as possible. And she says, I should have some bread and some treats for you to snack on as well. I imagine you are hungry.
Actually, my friend Leif here was able to get us some food before we came.
Oh, good. And she offers a weak smile over to Leif. Is this your first time in Alderheart? Food is very good here.
Oh, delicious.
What did you say that creation was called, Leif?
Yeah, it was it's bread, and it's tomato paste, and it's like chopped mushrooms and onions and peppers and other veggies, and it's baked like that. It's pizza.
Yes. That is a favorite among many people here. As she sets her sad eyes onto you, Ratchet, I want to say thank you so much to Igneal for a deck of many cards. I'm going to go ahead and draw these now before we get into it, because it's about to get real. Zombie and GeekDice Please tell me when to stop. We'll start with zombie.
Oh, aren't you so nice? No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop.
Hope it's a whammy.
Ooh, okay. And then geek dice.
Careful, Igneel. You'll get payback.
Oh yes.
And get ready soon. Maybe pretty soon. And stop.
Okay.
Zombie always needs more cards.
No.
All right, excellent. I'll go ahead and write those down.
We'll update the sheet.
I'm sure you have a great many questions, and I will try to keep it as simple as possible. Things are dangerous in Alderheart. It seems that violence outside has also come in. There are measures, however, that keep me safe. They are, unfortunately, expensive.
It's this bad for someone like you. It's no surprise how much the city has changed. We saw some of it as we came up here.
Council has been trying their very best to support those that have been displaced to the trunk market. As you can tell, resources are thin, and it goes very deep. And she gestures to the empty walls. You could say that this is the work of a group of people known as the Iron Cloaks. They protect us, I suppose.
And it's within the city?
She just gives you a wry smile, doesn't touch her eyes.
It never had this problem in the city before. Sometimes nearby, but they were never this bold.
At least the Iron Cloaks can be reasoned with. Contracts exist, and they seem to honor them. I will ask, though, that you keep this to yourself. And she looks very tiredly over to the group of you. The council does not know this. And, I prefer that they don't. Try to keep my problems at home.
Esmer, I know I don't make it back to Alderheart as often as I probably should, but you should have written to me. You know I would have come to offer whatever aid I could, even to help bolster the guard, something.
Oh, Ratchet. I would have. I just thought that maybe some time and space might do you well. And I knew you would come back when you were ready. And there's a sort of heaviness in the air when she says this. Not sure if the rest of you know about Ratchet's loss. Did you share that with the group?
It was mentioned obliquely to Jack, but no, it's been kept close to the chest.
So there is a mysterious pause as she's looking at Ratchet. You aren't, except for Jack, sure what she's referring to. You can tell that there's there's a profound sadness here in this house.
Jack just looks away for a moment, grimace deepening slightly.
I have been writing Zoni.
You have. There's embarrassment, maybe shame on Ratchet's face. Is she well?
It's been a month, maybe 2, but the last contact was insightful. She's keeping busy. And you can see the same kind of embarrassment actually spreads from Ratchet to her. She sort of looks at the others and you can tell she kind of regrets bringing it up. It seems to be a private topic.
No, Ratchet. Maybe you should go help her in the kitchen while we unpack our stuff.
We make ourselves busy doing
Yes.
our own stuff.
Yes, you
All
can
the
help me
things,
with the
all the
tea.
stuff.
So she
That would be
begins
good.
to lead Ratchet outside of the room, leaving the 4 of you to get comfy. Is there anything that the 4 of you would like to do or say when Ratchet's gone from the room?
Jack, what was that about iron cloaks? Did you get that?
Go ahead and roll me history, Jack.
Okay. Here is where I use my big brain. Double sixes,
Double
baby.
6s.
I-
Okay.
Is this something specific to Alderheart that I should know? Maybe I missed that page in the lore book.
No. You don't know what this is. This is something
Okay.
new. And as for Jack with the 6, you're not sure. You haven't heard of this organization before.
Jack shakes their head slightly. Best case scenario, I would say mercenaries taking advantage. Worst case, bandits by a kinder name.
Yeah, I guess Ratchet will tell us if we need to know something.
Leif, as you are laying on this blanket that Esmer gave you, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Who were you talking to?
Leif, you.
I thought you said somebody else. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Arcana. I'm going to use my blessing because I always forget to use my blessing.
Okay. At advantage.
26.
Wow, natural 20.
Nice.
Wow.
I looked through space and time.
Okay. This
You
blanket.
invented magic.
This blanket is actually a cloak. You realize that it must have been accidentally sorted into this pile of fabric. And you realize that this is a magical cloak.
Swish. I'm wearing a magical cloak.
Okay. You need to attune to it. You do not.
I love the youngest member of the party being like, a blanket, no, a cloak. Ah!
Exactly.
Well, I'll be damned.
So I hop around on the furniture for a moment and dash about. And then I roll up in this blanket cloak in a corner and rest.
Okay, you have drawn a sun card.
That's awesome. I don't remember what that is.
Wondrous item.
Wondrous item. This is a cloak of billowing. So as you swoosh it on and you run around, it dramatically flares behind you. It defies wind resistance. It shimmers brightly.
Ooh.
As you curl up in it, there is a very slight, not mechanical warmth that warms you to your bones.
Okay, sweet. Thank you, Fates and Destiny.
Is there anything else that Hubert, Jack, Leon want to do?
I think Leon will hold on. Leon will he'll kind of get ready for the night. He'll kind of find like a spot that's kind of like close by to people, but like just in whatever, I don't know how big of a space that we're in. But he's gonna try and find a spot where he can just kind of sit down and relax. And he'll probably just be kind of mulling over stuff. He probably will take out a piece of paper actually, and he'll start kind of writing out the note that he wants to send to Gizmo tomorrow. Kind of like, okay, kind of like, should I mention this? Should it be simple? Should it be long? I don't know. Like he knows that Gizmo likes longer stories, but he's like, what would be more practical? And so he's just kind of sitting there doing that. He's gonna try and wait for everyone else to fall asleep first. That way he feels a little bit more comfortable, like either moving the mask, taking off the mask. But yeah, that's what he's gonna do. And if it seems like he just gets too tired and before everyone else goes to sleep, he probably will just sleep in his mask.
Okay,
But more or
roll
less, he just
me
wants to
a
prepare.
Constitution saving throw.
Okie dokie.
Okay, 14. You can stay up pretty late. You feel significantly rested, even though that you were helping move stuff around and it was quite physical when you were in Eliza's Emporium.
Mhm.
There's a
I
sort
think
of
it's-
comfort from not being
it's-
out in the wild.
Yeah, I think it's the excitement of the city, seeing the city again. I'll use this from personal experience, even though it was jet lagged as hell. When I came and visited a nice big city last year, it kind of invigorated me seeing people walk around and stuff, and kind of like, ooh, this is how this looks. This looks kind of cool. So I think he's kind of using that to like, oh, that shop looks kind of cool. That looks kind of cool. Well, I think the arena's over this way, or maybe it's down this. I don't remember, but there's so many cool things, and like he's thinking in his head. I think as he's writing stuff down to like Gizmo, he's accidentally writing shit he wants to do while we're here. Like, yeah, so we should go to the mall. Shit, no, I don't want to tell him that. And then just he'll just kind of rewrite his note a little bit, and then yeah. So he's been excited. He's thinking about all the cool stuff he wants to do, and then he just kind of stays up and. He's approachable. If anyone wants to talk to him, he can. But for the most part, that's all he's going to basically do till everyone falls asleep and then settle in.
What about Leif?
He's snoring.
Hubert? Getting comfortable.
Doing owl things.
Right. Yes.
Turning his head all the way around. Yeah.
Yep.
Scanning the room. And then
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
A wall mimic.
Suddenly, the wall. 15. Okay. You look around and it's quiet. You can peer outside of one of the windows and see that the street is empty. You weren't not followed, and no one seems to be wandering the streets. So you know that you can let your guard down here. Feel comfortable. You feel safe. A small fire has been stoked in the fireplace, so there is a measure of warmth that washes over you. And for those of you who are trying to sleep, you probably find it very easily. In the kitchen, Esmer is sort of poking through things, picking them up and putting them down, trying to put together a tray that is worthy of some guests. But you have a moment of privacy here, Ratchet.
I'm so sorry that things have gotten like this. Even if I didn't know, I should have come and visited you more.
Oh, don't put this on yourself, Ratchet. You've been going through things, and I have too, but we aren't so bad that things are terrible. They are just things, you know? Though they might mean something. I'm healthy. I'm happy. Still doing what I love. And it's making a difference.
Good. I know that you and I chose to make a difference in our own ways as we grew up, but I've always been pleased to see the results of yours. Sometimes I struggle to see the results of mine more than other days. And you definitely had more of the mind for this kind of thing than I did.
She reaches forward, unless you want to push her away, and she will put her hand essentially on your face, and her thumb gently touches your wind touch mark on your face. She strokes it gently. She touches you in a way that doesn't feel like putting you on a pedestal or putting you like as some untouchable superior thing. She just holds you like her brother, and she touches you in a way of, I'm here, you're here, we're okay. She
It
says,
was always one of the important things growing up was that she watched me fall over, so she never thought of me as anything special. I was just her brother.
exactly. It's a very grounding moment here. She says, and I've envied the opportunities that you've had to go and see and go and do. I only hear about what comes of my work. I've never seen it. Rely only on the recounts and reports of other people. So I think in a way, what we both do, it's needed and it's important.
Well, tomorrow we'll need to try and speak with the council, see what aid they can offer. And they won't need me to lead them back to town. They know where Meadowfen is. If there's anything I can do to help while I'm here, you or Alderheart have made the journey already. I'm more than happy to do it.
Her eyes flick to you for a second, and you know she has an idea. She moves her eyes away immediately, almost dismissing it. No, I think you being here is good enough.
I may not be the best liar myself, but you aren't particularly good at it either, sister.
My request might not be what you want to hear.
Maybe we can discuss it after we've seen the council.
I think that's a good idea. Could tell that whatever she wanted to offer was going to be extremely uncomfortable for you, and it probably doesn't need to be said out loud. She hands you a tray. She just puts it into your hands. Here you go. Let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, you know where to find it. My home is yours. Please be comfortable. I'm going to turn in. You have an early day tomorrow.
Thank you for the hospitality, sis.
Anytime.
And he'll take the tray out to the rest of the group.
Then Esmer begins to head up the stairs, and all of you, if you're still awake, can hear the creaking of it as she leaves. You can see Leon scribbling away. Leif is clonked out. Hubert starting to fall asleep. Jack, what are you doing?
Jack is currently just sitting against the wall next to the fireplace, doing some maintenance on the bells in her tail.
Looks like they had a long day, huh?
More than a couple.
Well, with any luck, we'll be done tomorrow.
Should probably get ready for sleep.
Yeah, we'll need to get started early. Who knows how long the red tape will take. And Ratchet will grab one of the blankets that has not been claimed and find a maybe an armchair to lay down in. Not like full lay down, but he's not like a big bird, so
Make like a little nest with the blanket and just sort of settle in. Yeah. All right.
In the middle of the night, when I get up
Mm.
to go find a place to relieve myself, I see that the blanket that Ratchet has draped over themselves is kind of falling off. So I gently pull it off and I put the billowing cloak over him.
Hey.
I kind of nod to myself and it's like, yeah, that's a little too flashy for me.
Okay. The rest of the evening passes uneventfully. This is probably the quietest sleep that any of you have had in a very long time. There's no sound of bugs and crickets and croaking. There's no sounds of twigs breaking. There's no sound of people walking around outside. It is bone quiet. You wake up slowly in the morning. The fire has died out on its own, so it is a little chilly. And a soft light filters into the room. The tea is cold. You can hear the gentle bumping of Esmer getting ready upstairs. Is there anything anyone wants to do for their morning rituals?
When all the old men get up and kind of put their hands on their back, and, from sleeping on the hard floor, I just kind of pop up and I stretch, look around, and rub my stomach like I'm hungry, and then hop into the kitchen.
Wow, that was targeted. My back hurt as you were saying that out loud. I have to roll out of bed
Stella like
a
this.
specific way now. This has only been a thing that has started to like manifest in the last like 3 years. Like I can't just like boing anymore. I have to like carefully roll out of bed so I don't fucking pull a muscle in my butt or my back or something. -1 geek dice.
You lose inspiration on your next roll.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this fantasy world where back pain doesn't exist.
Oh, okay. Yes, please,
Yeah.
please enjoy. Okay, Leif is in the kitchen. Anything else?
So Jack had woken up pretty early and has stepped into a side room to switch into the outfit that they had gotten from a tailor the other day.
Mhm.
So carefully
I think that
they take
Esmer would
off.
have also like pointed out like the washroom as well if any of you want to like take a bath or anything.
So slowly over the morning, they carefully take out the various bells and the tambourines around their wrist and eventually the silver rings on their fingers and pack them all away before they step out into a well-pressed black and gray striped business suit.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, as you, I'll assume that you're doing this in the washroom, so you have some
Mhm.
privacy. There is a silvered glass on the wall that acts as a mirror. And as you're turning to look at yourself in the mirror, you're looking at yourself in this extremely elaborate outfit, and you are sharp. You have a great presentation to yourself, but you see yourself differently. You have drawn a Fool card. You lose something here. It can be a memory, a sense, a bond, something physical, quality of yourself. But as you're locking eyes with yourself in the mirror, you have changed in some manner. What have you lost?
I think as Jack started this and put on the not simple at all suit to put on, it starts as muscle memory. Something that while they haven't done recently, it was practiced that they could do even with their eyes closed. And as they go along, their grip starts to become a little more hesitant. Did they miss a step? Did they do it right? And as they look into the mirror for a split second, they see not who they are now, but what they looked like as a child in these well-dressed suits, staring up at their parents looking more professional than they did, no matter how well or how hard they tried. And with a blink, that image is gone. And Jack doesn't feel quite as put together in the suit as they thought they would have.
Jack steps out of the washroom in a completely different outfit that none of you have seen before. And you all see Jack for the first time.
Ooh, wow, fancy. Got a big date?
Look at Sneeze.
We all do leave. Oh,
Oh,
Appearance is everything, after all.
and we can convince them that our matter is serious. Anything will help.
I think Leon will make the comment to Jack, and then I think he's gonna also take advantage of the wash and the dry and all that, kind of like put some of his clothes in the dryer as well, and then he's gonna do the thing where he'll make sure that no one can really see what he's doing or see or get in the room too as well, because he's gonna full on take his mask off, actually, wash himself. And he's very cautious about trying to get anyone to see if he's taking his mask off or any of that. To the point where when he gets out, depending on how far along the wash machine is, he'll probably wrap a towel around his head or face enough so you can wrap it where, kind of like how you wrap your hair into a towel, but like just a little bit more elaborate than that. And where you can obviously see. And he'll go and he'll probably do that. So he'll probably be a little while before he joins for food or joins with the group, but he'll let everyone know that, hey, I don't feel that great. I really want to,
I have a question.
Yo.
After you wash yourself, are you extremely fluffy?
Hmm.
Because you're covered in
Yeah.
fur. Okay.
Yeah.
So
why
you're just a
not?
little poofy and fluffy
Mhm.
than
Oof, oof.
Well, I
floofy.
think I would have to be if I'm gonna wrap myself all in a towel. I gotta take that stuff off, rub it off. It's gonna go.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fantastic. No further questions.
Okay. I poof.
All right. Esmer begins to come down the stairs, and you can see that she is transformed, just as Jack has. And she is wearing these long robes that have been pressed. They are red in color with white stripes and embellishments. They give a pretty formless silhouette that invokes a sense of control and of measure. everything has its place. Everything is pinned to be exactly where it needs to be. You can see barely just the feathers of her hands poking out from underneath long sleeves. She has a number of books and papers held to her chest in a bundle as she begins to make her way down the stairs. She doesn't look scared. Any fear that was on her face has been washed away. And you can tell Jack, Ratchet especially, that this is her game face. She has put away her problems as she is getting ready to go to work. Are all of you ready to go?
One last thing on my end, and Jack will carefully reach into their pack that they had set against the wall and pull out a small pastry box. And as they cast prestidigitation to warm the pastries for an hour, they will hold it out to Esmeralda. Or Esmer. Every time I hear Esmer, my brain's like, that's gotta be short for Esmeralda.
Yeah. What is this?
I heard an old rumor that these might be a favorite of a member of the council.
Well, I would recommend that you keep it, and if you so wish to bestow it upon the council member, you should do it yourself. I unfortunately cannot distribute it on your behalf, as I may be required to be an unbiased party.
Never the easy way.
No. If it were, they wouldn't need me.
Do quick Arcana, because I'm not good at that, to see whether or not Ratchet recognizes this cloak for what it is.
Oh, yeah. 11.
That is an 11.
Go ahead and actually do it at advantage, so roll again.
Oh, 16.
You recognize this immediately. Okay. You know the personal relevance of this item. This belongs to Esmer, and it was a gift. It was a gift from one of your late uncles that was an adventurer that used to pass through Alderheart, used to go beyond the Humblewood and into the beyond territories there, and came back with treasures and trinkets. And you know that this is the inspiration to young Esmer that started the journey of her very many collection of things of the outside, her love for stories. And when she sees that it's kind of half hanging off of you, near you, she picks it up and she pulls it over your shoulders, Ratchet, with deliberation. She begins to fix it so that it settles into place.
He will reach into the one of the pouches that's on his belt, and his hand kind of pauses for a second because it's not something he does very often, but he knows the gravity of this conversation that they're going to have. And he pulls out his symbol of the wind, which is a version of Rhea's holy symbol, the vines and bows made into a compass rose. And it's done as like a clasp that can be used to hold the cloak in place. He affixes it and shares sort of a knowing look with Esmer because she's fully aware that he's never trying to take credit for this wind-touched reputation, but they both know that it's probably for the best in this particular task.
As you take this out and you deliberately put it on yourself, that sparkle comes back to her eye. You know she's going to say something a little witty, something that's just a little bit of a dig. She doesn't say it. She doesn't need to. You still feel the effect. by the glance that she gives you. And as she turns to the others, go ahead.
I think it's that like shared sibling thing of like she gives the look of like I'm gonna say something, and he gives the look of don't you dare, but like they're both happy about the exchange.
Yeah, it's good enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she turns to the others. Let us go. The council will not wait.
There is one more thing we should probably address.
Yes.
And Jack turns to look right at Leon.
Oh, that was gonna be me. I got. Let me shine up my sword a little bit. Give me my armor.
Hmm. Cookie.
I see everybody else getting all spiffy, and a little self-conscious.
The armor of a paladin can be dignified on its own, but I'm not
Okay.
quite sure
What's wrong with
the
Leon?
mask of a wrestler would fit in the council chambers.
Well, I guess we have an option here. Would it be the worst thing in the world if I didn't join you then? I don't feel comfortable taking off my mask. Or maybe I could get a more dignified mask? Something of that nature, but
Unfortunately, I think we are a bit pressed for time. That is something that might have required some intention.
If Leon can't go, I'll keep Leon company.
I suppose not all of you are required to make attendance.
my name's on the thing.
I know, just don't say that.
I'm just saying. Like,
And you
I
see
don't know
this
if-
look of fear on Leif's face.
Well, I'm gonna make a
Right.
roll.
I did a wisdom save before it was bad. He's stricken by fear.
Well, I'm just saying.
She
Like,
looks at you suddenly, Leif, and she sort of tilts her head, almost as if she's trying to remember something.
Squirm.
How is Leif dressed in this? Because everyone has gotten a little spiffy, but
Leif is Leif. Leif has one
okay.
outfit.
Yeah.
And actually, his preparation this morning, before he really realized the gravity of the circumstance, is he's kind of prepped himself for the road. You wonder if maybe he's intending flight, but around his belt he has these small potted plants, these tree seedlings that he's got growing. Occasionally he lets them get sun by having these pouches around his belt. So you see these seedlings there. He's kind of like maybe self-distracting. He's focused on those and fiddling with those.
Okay, now that you mentioned the seeds, I rolled at advantage. She got a 14 instead of a 10. It takes her a minute, and then there's that look in her eye. Not the one that she gave Ratchet. The sort of look of, I think I know who you are. And instead of saying anything, she looks at Ratchet.
I think this is a wonderful opportunity for just a complete misunderstanding of this look from Esmer.
Go for it.
You are dressed fairly plainly. It's unacceptable of our master wizard when we meet with the council. He's going to reach into his pack and he's going to pull out an ornate cloak, which is something he's held on to but kept in his bag thus far, and drapes it over Leif's shoulders.
I look it up and down and I admire it and I feel the fabric, and it's like you see this smile come on my face. Ooh, this is really fancy. I've never had anything this nice.
It is not just moss green, but it actually seems to have kind of the texture of moss to it, despite the fact that it is in fact made of fabric. And it has a certain weight to it as well. To be completely honest, I got this from my background and I was like, okay, I guess I have a cloak. That was it. So perfect for Leif.
Thank you. He still looks full of fear.
Esmer says to Leif, a proper Woodshaper. And then with that, she just turns to the front door and steps outside.
Leif's just frozen in place.
I think Leon will look at get Jack's attention, and he'll be like, "With my name on it, do I need to be there, or do you think me having my name on the paper would be enough?"
Jack looks back at Ratchet. You take the others and hurry ahead. I'll be with you in just a minute.
Don't take too long. They may not be able to see us immediately, but if we are able to slip in before their day's appointments, I wouldn't want you to miss out. Our
Jack-
silver-tongued fox.
Jack is going to take some time and use their disguise kit to adjust Leon's mask to be a bit more dignified.
Okay.
More flair.
How does,
Just make it more flair. Like,
Yeah.
bling it.
bedazzle
Yeah,
it?
Jack will bedazzle it. Yeah, no,
Here
it'll
I'm
be all
thinking-
bedazzled. There you go.
Here I'm thinking Phantom of the Opera.
Jack would give Leon their backup leather armor instead of the open flare jacket, and just sort of
Well,
design the mask more in line with like the guard of Alderheart.
Well, I have a question. How does Leon feel about this as Jack offers this up to you?
So, are you physically altering my mask to where it can't be reshaped back, or are you offering me something that I can just like another mask I can slip on? I guess would be
It would be like simple additions and washable coloring.
Okay, yeah.
So temporary.
Like an
Yep.
hour of work afterwards, you could take it off.
Okay, yeah. Leon would be fine with that. And he doesn't want to be left out, but he also doesn't want to hinder. So
Okay.
we do it this way. You do a cloth wrap over his mask, so it doesn't do anything really to his mask. It's just literally a shroud that goes over it. You do the Phantom of the Opera thing. You take his idea and you make it contrasting colors, and then we do your wrestling bit, and we play the Phantom of the Opera mix as you walk in the stage. We do the lights and the fog lamp, and you make your entrance. See, that way we give Leon more flair.
Leon, the Phantom Punisher.
yeah. The Phantom of the Humblewood.
I love it.
Okay. I imagine that this will take some time, so Jack and Leon will have to catch up. Hubert, do you go with Ratchet or do you stay with them?
I'll stay with them.
Okay. Leif, you've frozen in place, but you can see Ratchet leaving. What do you do?
People are staying. I'm staying.
Oh
Okay.
god.
Lucky
Fantastic.
comes in and makes a little
Stricken
guest
by
appearance.
fear. Stricken.
Lucky comes in for pets.
Yeah. Suddenly, Eliza appears and is insufferable.
Suddenly, Lucky's tail appears.
Suddenly Lucky hits the keyboard.
With Leif staying here, Jack gets rather serious and starts ordering them around, like hold this in that position, adjust it slightly, don't move.
Ah.
Okay. With an assistant, this will actually significantly cut down the time it requires. So you'll only need probably about 30 minutes to do it instead of like an hour.
Nice.
Okay, so Ratchet, you fall into step with Esmer as you're beginning to approach the way up Great Tree-City. So let me make this available.
Mhm.
As you unlock another part of the map.
Da-da-da-dum.
Welcome to the last stop.
It is truly the last stop. Okay.
Man, Leon, imagine grabbing someone from up here and hitting them with the DDT all the way down.
I feel like we both hurt from that.
Top rope, top bow. You just jump from the top bow.
Imagine if someone got defenestrated up here.
Love that word.
Hmm. So, Ratchet, you fall in step with Esmer, and the two of you are alone for now. You know that the others will catch up shortly. You begin to enter the upper levels of Alderheart's canopy by a stairway near the canopy market. So you pass by the streets that would potentially lead you towards Eliza's Emporium, and you manage to have a peek over in that direction as you're going past. You can see that there's a line outside of Eliza's store. It looks like open for business and people are excited. Unfortunately, can't make a stop here. There's a massive central pillar where the stairwell winds around, leading up and up and up. Around you, very clearly, are judicial and government buildings, and you know that these are related to the oversight of Alderheart and Humblewood. Posted all around this plaza are a number of the Perch Guard. They are clearly visible by their shiny armor. You can see that the inscription of the Alderheart sigil is emblazoned on their breast. They are all heavily armed, heavily equipped, and you can see that they wear the scarlet robes that are the color of the city. The Birdfolk Council chambers are a large domed structure nestled in the branches. You could see nearby that there is a courthouse and the Perch Guard headquarters. There are a number of guards coming in and out of it. All of these buildings are arranged in an open plaza containing a large statue of a Sarah Luma dressed in ceremonial robes. You know this to be an effigy of Speaker Ava, the founder of the very first Birdfolk Council. There's a moment as you step out onto the plaza and both you and Esmer sort of pause to look around. It is very early in the day. You can still see the peach color of the sky that is waking all around you. Esmer looks at you. Do you think you're ready for this?
Do I have a choice?
I suppose not. But everything that you've always tried to avoid is probably going to come to a head. And especially if you make yourself known to the council, they might not want to let go of you.
Not everything that I avoid. I'm here to save people of my town. Avoid their deaths. And if I can still do that, we can air the rest.
Can get you in through the door. After that, I don't think there's anything else I can assist you with. You'll be on your own. And hopefully, she kind of slowly leans past you to look the way you came. Your friends will join you soon. As you begin to... Go ahead.
I was just saying, he's just like staring at the doors, but like there's definitely a look of like, yeah, I hope so.
Walking up towards the council chambers, you can see a huge domed structure rising up through the foliage. The building is cradled into the natural curve of Alderheart's giant trunk. A large platform has been built around the imposing structure, connecting it to the branch roads that run throughout the city. Brightly colored banners displaying the crests of the major settlements of the Humblewood are all encircling this open-air plaza. You see two guards standing watch at the entrance of this elevated platform, and you can see that they are actively turning away people who are trying to approach. Give me your letter.
Ratchet passes it over.
She takes it and she begins to walk up to the guards. She says, "Stay here." You aren't able to hear what she says to them. They instantly recognize her, and she lifts up the paper, passes it over, exchanges words, and then turns and points straight at you. When the guards turn to look at you, what do they see?
For someone short of stature, the shortest member of our party, I think he's doing his best to stand nice and straight and tall. Raptors are one of the smaller races. So he's attempting to cut like an important figure of himself, which is a very uncomfortable thing for him.
You see that there is a nod from the guard, and they pass it back to her. She steps over, closing the distance, and gives you back the paper. They will permit you once your party is ready.
Thank you. Any words of wisdom? Anyone in particular we should talk to for help or anything like that?
Watch out for Beta. She is ruthless. She will very likely be the most scrutinizing and the most difficult to persuade. Remember that the problems of the Humblewood are the responsibility of Alderheart. Don't let them diminish that or dismiss it.
Thank
You
you.
might have to be insistent. They are
You and
used
I
to
both
turning
know I
people
can do
away.
that.
Oh, yes. She gives you like a very brisk pat on the shoulder. Good luck. I have to go in. And she hesitates. You can tell she wants to hug you. But this isn't the time or place. And instead, she just gives you a look. And she begins to ascend. The guards let her pass. And she begins to settle up above you in a place you can't see. 30 minutes later, everyone else appears. Four of you, as you're making your way through the canopy market, you see the same thing, a long line outside of Eliza's Emporium. It seems to be doing well. But you know that's not the direction you need to go. You climb the same stairwell, and you find Ratchet standing by himself in the plaza. There's a line of people that are being turned away by the guards over in front of you, some distance away. Is there anything you do or say as you all come back together?
Jack does one quick pass of prestidigitation to make sure everyone is fully clean.
Okay.
I throw my hood off and I look around. I am worried about if somebody's going to recognize me. Not so much the guards, but I'm just looking to see if there's anybody that I think might recognize me. I know it's been a couple years and I've grown. I'm taller.
Hey. Go ahead and roll investigation. 10. Everyone that you see on this plaza, they are total strangers to you. You have no idea. Hopefully you're a stranger to them.
Very well. Esmer spoke to the guards. We should be permitted in now that we're all here. And he's sort of like is trying to remember. One of the council members, Beta, is going to be the most challenging for us to convince. demanding, I think. She recommended we remind them that all of Humblewood is the responsibility of the council and of Alderheart. And don't take no for an answer.
So, DM, I anticipate my family was probably exiled by this council. Do I recognize the name Beta?
So would you say that your exile happened in your parents' generation or the one before?
It was my parents.
Parents, okay. Go ahead and roll history at advantage. You would have been very young.
Very nice.
30-20.
20.
Okay. Yes. This is the very person who slapped your father in public and said to never show your face ever again in Alderheart.
Knowing her, recognizing the name, do I know anything about her in reflection that might be helpful to those who might speak?
Okay, so no one else knows what
Oh.
she looks like, but Leif, you know what she looks like. I imagine seeing your father get struck in public is like something you don't forget.
Poor memory.
That's a canon event.
Oh
So
no.
is there anything I think could be beneficial? I say this, I know her. And when my family was exiled, my parents were called out by name. My father was struck by her. I'll know her. Then I describe her. I don't know what type of person she is. I mean, is she a specific species?
Yeah, she's a gallus that resembles a peacock. So
I describe her.
the gallus are very tall. They're the tallest birdfolk. And, just like, just almost as tall as, the Strig are taller. Pretty close to the Strig. So probably slightly shorter than Hubert.
My journey has included a lot of self-reflection as well as reflection on others. I'm trained in insight, and I think as I explore and understand my journey as an exile, I try to understand others. That's one of the things that has allowed me to build such great empathy with humble folk instead of bird folk. Hence, I'm grounded. I really have a lot of affinity with humble folk. Do I have a sense of her? Anything that could be of benefit to Jack and Ratchet, who I imagine are going to be speaking? Is she prideful? Is she petty?
Go
Does she
ahead
have
and
any-
roll insight at advantage.
Thank you.
Particularly like the treat.
Actually, I'm really looking for an opportunity for an exploit, so I'm going to use my nat 20.
Okay. Burn that nat 20, baby. Okay. Natural 20.
I'm going to mark that
Yes, please. Your family being exiled from Alderheart is something that has haunted you for the majority of your young life. You remember the exact day, the moment of essentially your family being rooted from their home, from your friends, from everything you knew all around you. And when you first encountered Beta, you would have taken her as a very cold and severe person. You've also had a lot of time to reflect. I imagine there have been rumors over the years of the council spreading throughout all of the Humblewood. So you've heard here and there little bits and pieces. Ida believes in doing what is the best for the people of the Humblewood. And you know that she is not prideful. She is not vain. She is an exceptional leader. Her callous and difficult decision making might give her the reputation of a cold person. She has to make the hard decisions. That weighs down on a person. So you know that Beta will do whatever it takes to protect the Humblewood.
So I share this, and I guess what I add to it is, I think maybe don't fight her. Certainly insist, but I think it's important to show the respect that's due. I think she might be a hard person to bend. You may have to navigate upstream.
Are we ready to head in?
I would like to attempt a roll.
Okay, what would you like to try to do?
So Jack had been raised as a potential successor to their family, and they dealt a lot with getting things for the rich and the upper crust.
Yeah.
Is there anything, like any negotiating exploit she might have overheard in regards to one of the council members?
Okay, go ahead and roll history. $11.
I'm gonna use one of mine at.
This is the time to do it. Okay, go ahead and mark that off. So natural 20 history. All right. You would know that one of the council members by the name of Lagan. Lagan is corruptible and a very greedy person. He is a Luma that has had a very polished and comfortable life. He loves finery. He enjoys the shiny, grander things of life. You suspect that things have been very difficult, that this has definitely impacted Lagan's quality of life, quality in so many quotation marks, by the way. However, you also know that Beta speaks for the council. So it might be kind of hard to play that. You know that the council is made up of 5 people. Beta speaks for all of them. You won't hear the voices of the others, though they will share whispers with Beta.
Jack will glance over at Ratchet and sort of pass this along of, there is one who is a bit more temptable than the others, but all their voices pass through Beta before they reach us. So I would keep in mind that Lagan is not an upstanding individual.
I'll even give you a little extra with that, since it's a natural 20. You know that Lagan has definitely imbibed and partook of illegal operations. Definitely took advantage of any kind of smuggling of fine arts and food and things that are essentially outlawed so they could enjoy them for finer pleasures.
Jack will lean over and just whisper to Ratchet. If we end up pressed against the wall, there is a certain forced negotiation we could do. Let's just say that he has had a bit of a dark past.
What makes you think that I'm the best person to be making this making this plea. You've always proven yourself to be quite adept when it comes to words.
Jack chuckles a bit at that. Oh, I'll certainly try, but I think you'll see that they decide who talks for us.
If it must be.
But Ratchet has a billowing cloak.
What? Jack turns.
Whoosh.
You can like technically just use a bonus action to make it whoosh whenever you want. For some reason in my head, I think it would be absolutely fucking hilarious if you like click, clasp like a button, like, and then just like. Yeah, you notice a very fancy cloak on Ratchet that was not there before. And I think you even notice the clasp. You being an ex-bandit, absolutely your eyes are drawn to the shiny. See a clasp that Ratchet has never displayed before.
Jack takes a moment to stare at that clasp, not understanding the full meaning behind it, but rather saying, and whether or not I have a way with words, I think your status stands above the rest.
Everyone, help us.
Hit him with the logic.
Ratchet's
So
like,
as
I just
always-
want to be a grumpy old man in the forest. I don't want people fucking
So-
bothering me. Why are the forests on fire? Why did this happen?
I'm also laughing a little behind the scenes because, like, right, my lowest stat is charisma, followed by intelligence.
Good luck.
Do the logic. Talk to the people. You can do this. No, I can't.
The line
Being
just
that-
keeps getting longer.
Seeing that Ratchet is nervous, Jack is going to give him a quick 15-second PowerPoint on how to do a presentation and how to speak with confidence.
Okay, go ahead and roll a performance check. I like to
18.
imagine
Yeah.
Leon just rolls a whiteboard out of nowhere out into the plaza, opens a dry erase marker, hands it to Jack. Jack just starts scribbling and drawing circles and arrows. No, of course it doesn't happen. But with an 18 performance, Jack, you begin, excuse me, you begin to try to help Ratchet get a 101 beseech the council lesson. Let me get a charisma saving throw from Ratchet. Or intelligence.
Okay, I'll do intelligence because it's slightly better.
Oh, 19.
19.
Okay. What Jack
With my
says
+0.
what Jack says resonates with you, okay? So you can get a few of the finer points of like you shouldn't like hawk to a just like in front of everyone in the middle of your sentence, right? Like before you speak, clear your throat. You know, get the spit out of your mouth before you start speaking, etc. Just a bunch of like little bits and pieces that
Avoid
help you.
verbal tics like uhs and likes.
Yeah, just kind of just helping you a bit. So, in this case, because you did a intelligence save, if you have to do an intelligence-based roll in the Birdfolk Council meeting, I'll let you do it at advantage because you are prepared now.
Okay.
Also, everyone remember that we had a long rest, so if you have resources that you might need to use in
Mhm.
discussing things.
The only resources that I tend to run out of are arrows. And I don't think those will help.
And we gave you like 70 arrows last episode or something like that. Yep. If only. Okay.
I don't think I have anything.
The line just keeps getting longer.
Okay.
You know, your sister would have told you just skip the line. You just go up to the guard. You can see, like, the day is going to be long for the council members.
Very well. Let's get a move on, folks.
As you begin to approach, the guards look at you and there's a look of recognition. They saw you before and immediately they hold a hand out to the people in the line to make space and let the 5 of you pass through unimpeded. As you pass the double doors into the council chambers, you can see that there's a group of 5 stately birdfolk arranged across elevated seats. Each of them has a tall podium in front of them, rising to just above their waist. A sheaf of papers is ordered neatly upon each podium. A circular aperture in the center of the ceiling allows sunlight to shine in. A wise-looking bright Gallus raises a talon to address your party. You stand now in the presence of the Bird Council. I am the council speaker, Beta. Come forward, step into the light, and state your case.
Jack gives Ratchet a little nudge and follows behind.
Ratchet will step forward and the billows.
Okay. Roll me a performance check here at advantage.
Oh, advantage. Very good.
So before you start talking, I want to see the whole picture. What is everyone else doing? How are you standing? How are you arranged? There's basically a circle, lights coming down the circle. Ratchet step forward. The 4 of you are behind Ratchet. What would the council see past Ratchet?
I think as much as we try to distinguish Leon as much as possible, he is going to try all his effort to make sure that he doesn't seem like over the top or nothing. He just seems like, like he's got his get up and they might go, why is he dressed like that? But other than that, like, it's just like he's trying to seem not so. He kind of took the words to heart of like trying to be distinguished. So he's just trying to look serious, trying to look like presentable. Like he's not like, okay, we can't take them seriously because he's there. That sort of thing.
Okay.
So while you're describing yourself, what does the dignified version of your mask look like?
My dignified mask.
She would have taken your input on this.
Right.
Yeah, so feel free to take creative liberty with your outfit change.
I guess we would just try to like do, how do we want to, I suppose we would do like, as fancy as we can make the mask. Maybe like somewhat of a, kind of like a white, plain, like looking mask, or kind of like this, describing it. Kind of like, I guess the best we could do, somehow, some way, turn it into a more filled up version of like maybe what Tuxedo Mask would wear. Like, the suit would be more like tuxedo-y looking and fancy, kind of like, have a
Give
nice
you a
look
little
to it.
domino mask up front.
Yeah, domino mask up front, and then have like the kind of glasses, like the famous glasses, but more like you can see them, but they're distinct. So it's like, fancy guy wearing a tuxedo, but he's like over the top elaborate. So like, again, it gives the impression of, I don't get why he's doing that, but he looks very fancy.
Okay, go ahead and roll performance.
Ooh, I think I got a good man.
Okay. What is Leif doing?
Leif is hiding in plain sight.
Okay.
His head's slightly down. He's kind of standing maybe a little bit close behind somebody that's taller, and he's not really moving. And he's just kind of like, don't look here.
Okay, stealth.
Yay.
22 stealth for Leif.
Invisible.
That was a 9 performance from Leon. Okay, Hubert, what are you trying to do here? You're muted.
You're muted.
Just taking in the sights, experiencing it all for the first time.
Okay. I'm so glad you said that. Okay, roll me perception check.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just trying to see what I can see.
I was like, I hope that
Who goes there?
who
Okay.
goes there. I was hoping someone is like, all right, I know all of y'all are nervous, so you're like kind of focusing on yourselves. I was like, I pray that one of you are looking out. Oh, that's a 5. Okay.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah.
Yes, but no.
Who? What? Where? What?
All right. Even with the 5, Hubert, you're looking around at the different council members, and even with the 5, you can tell that they have been prepared, that perhaps Esmer has spoken to them already, and they seem to be emotional even before you've stepped up. You can see that all 5 members of the council, they are flushed or they are like kind of leaning forward. It's clear that they had a conversation before the group of you have even got here. Other than that, perhaps you were lost in the moment. It's a pretty profound moment to be a part of. Leif, you're absolutely, it's super easy to stand in the shadow of Hubert. You can tell that the council, though they're looking at the group of you, they're focusing mostly on Ratchet. Do you find that you're able to slip into the shadows and avoid the weight of their gazes?
And I reach around and I polish Hubert's armor a little bit more.
Leon, with a 9, you try to be as dignified as you can, but I think you know in your heart that you are out of your element, that this is a space that you haven't been prepared for. You're experiencing something for the first time, and how you feel about that and maybe your reaction is completely up to you. But you stick out, and you know you stick out, even with all of the shiny upgrades.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where you think so hard on something, I want to be distinguished, but you don't know what it is. Like it's like, I don't know what this is, but I'm trying my best to be this. And because I'm so focused on like, I don't want this to happen, or I do want this to happen, that it just ends up happening because you focus so hard on it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things where he's like, I'm going to be distinguished. I stand up straight, right? Or I stand up straight. Nope, I look, I smile. Yeah, no, wait, do I smile? Yeah, I smile. Or, I'll stand here, like he's just going through the gambit of just that. Or he's like, it looks like he's trying his best, but like, you could tell he's kind of doing a different movement or a different look to try to figure out what he's doing. And it's just more visible than he wants it to be because he's just so focused.
Jack, with your 18, what do we see with you? You have total control of your element here.
So Jack has taken a quick glance around. They're mostly trying to play a supporting role for Ratchet, but as they enter the room, they're going to do a quick cast of Unseen Servant and have it carry the box of pastries over to Lagan.
Okay. As you do that, go ahead and roll stealth at advantage. And real quick, thank you so much, Raiders, for coming on in. The Dirty Rollers RPG, thank you so much for the raid. And please, get comfortable as we're about to get grilled and or grill the Birdfolk Council of Alderheart, the capital, as we beseech them. Okay. 22.
So I rolled a 22.
Okay. All right. Wow. Natural one on my part. Okay. No one notices this box of pastries floating through the air, slowly and subtly making its way over to Lagan. You see this Luma sort of lean back a bit from their podium, looking down and seeing something that others cannot. And his eyes are somewhat shifty as he looks back and forth. Then he glances over towards you, Jack. You make eye contact. He raises a brow.
Jack gives a quick little grin of their golden tooth and bows slightly.
Bows his head very slightly. But then we focus again on Ratchet as Beta says, Only one time, the first time. Please state your case.
We come to you today with disturbing news. The fires of the Scorched Grove have devoured Ash Barrow. He pauses for a second to see if there's any reaction, like he thinks maybe it was brought up by Esmer already, but like doesn't know how much of this is new.
Yeah, go ahead and roll insight.
Insight I can do.
Okay, 13. You already know immediately. They sort of squint their eyes and they're already leaning forward. They already seem emotional. They are somewhat shaken. They already know stuff.
Many who tried to escape were also taken down by the bandits on the road. The problem has increased in recent days and months. We are afraid between fires, the grove, the bandits, that the town of Meadowfen is next. We've come here to request aid from Alderheart. You are the protectors of all Humblewood, and Humblewood needs you.
You see looks being exchanged between the council members. Some of them lean forward, some of them lean back. Ida raises her beak and you see her scrutinizing blue eye cast over the group of you, staring critically before it lands onto you, Ratchet. The council is aware of the spreading fires, but our primary concern is the banditry jeopardizing the big city and its essential trading hubs. The bandit ranks have swelled of late, and the perch guard is spread thin.
If you allow the towns of Humblewood to be gobbled up, you will have no one to trade with, bandits or no. There are lives at stake.
The council hears your plea, but know that Alderheart could support more refugees in these times. We do possess the space, perhaps to relocate the citizens of Meadowfen, but we remain uncertain in these difficult times. The fires are spreading, after all. If the refugees are allowed to enter, how long before we run out of our food and essential resources that are already being threatened?
Then save them. If you can send those to fight off the threats, they will not need to flee. They will not become refugees within their own land. You will not need to feed them, for they will be able to feed themselves.
You see Beta sort of toss her head in some discomfort. She looks over to the others and they lean towards her. You can see that they are exchanging some hushed words together.
As she looks away, Jack is going to subtly raise a paw to Ratchet's back and give them a bardic inspiration as they pat them on the back.
Ooh, does Ratchet feel this other than the pat? Like, is there like a warmth or a tingling sensation or a smell?
Can I propose something? You know that Ratchet has carried the loot on his back for the early parts of your journey, and you are of course musical yourself. Maybe the vibrations as though the loot were upon his back once more.
You get this vague, almost half a memory of the lute being strummed behind you.
As you cast this spell, after it finishes, Beta's eyes cast back over to you, Ratchet. The council will need more time to deliberate and confer amongst ourselves. We will meet you again tomorrow afternoon to see what we can afford to send. The council hears your plea, but we ask for your patience. The way that she delivers this to you, you feel a lack of confidence. You can tell that the council is holding back something.
As in, they're not telling us something, or they are holding back like assistance they could do immediately.
You're not sure. You get the
I'm
sense
gonna-
that you can try to make one last plea or statement here before they try to shut things down.
Jack is
I come
going
up.
to tilt their
Oh.
head down and try to whisper so only Ratchet can hear while Leaf comes up.
Okay?
Leif comes up. And they're just going to whisper, "Don't forget the stone we found in the lake."
I step up on the other side of Ratchet. Maybe my face is a little more visible. And with some passion, but in a low voice, I say, we have to stop the flames. Try to maybe strike some fear in anybody who's listening.
Who, I just don't remember because it was a few sessions ago. Who has that stone? I remember we
smashed it.
placed. Oh, we smashed it, right?
Yeah, we
Trying
used
to
the
remember what we
magical
did.
shovel to shatter the enchanted stone that was boiling the lake.
Yeah.
But it has implied that that the fire spreading has been orchestrated by something.
Yeah. Ratchet will pipe up. I look forward to hearing your judgment tomorrow. We've traveled long to get here, and it will be long for aid to reach Meadowfen if you decide that you can help them. But we encountered another concerning item on our travels to get here. We found...
So as you say that, Beta interjects real quick. She says, was it related to Benna Seridan?
Do I know that name?
In character, do we recognize that?
So, Ratchet, you don't know this name. Jack, you know this name immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You know this is the name of the leader of the bandits. Leif, sorry, before you continue,
Lynch.
Leif, as you mentioned flames, you said it quiet enough that I think most people didn't hear it. But
Well, that wasn't my intent. I wanted to make it seem like I was trying to say it low, but I definitely wanted people to hear it.
yes, so most of the council didn't hear it. But you lock eyes with Lagan, and Lagan definitely heard you. And you see that he kind of tilts his head. And instead of looking at Ratchet, he's looking at you now. Go ahead, Jack, sorry.
Jack, even for as well rehearsed as they are, visibly flinches at the name.
I cannot say, though I can't confirm either that it is not related to this Saradin that you mentioned.
Mm.
On our travels, we found a stone on its own producing enough heat to cause a small lake to boil. This is no accident. These spreading flames, they are part of some larger plot.
You see that the council begins to squirm where they're standing. You can tell that they want to say something, but they look to Beta, and their mouths open and close. Beta looks between them. We will take this into consideration. This is unexpected.
While you debate what you can afford to send, I beg of you, also consider what you can afford to lose.
Go ahead and roll me persuasion at advantage. We'll use that preparation here that Jack
Okay.
helps you out with.
Great! I got a 1!
You have a reroll. I gave you a reroll in chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to use that reroll for sure. With advantage,
Zero
my
and
rolls
a
were
one.
0 and a 1.
Just go ahead
I'm
and do
not
it again.
good at this, guys. A 7 and a 0.
Maybe add the Bardic Inspiration
You
D6.
can try the Bardic Inspiration. I believe right now it's a D6 from you.
Yes.
That's a total
That's an
of an
11.
11.
That's way better than a 1 or a 7.
Yes.
Guys, I told you I'm bad at this. This is the problem when you're a charismatic human playing a non-charismatic character.
You see Beta's eyes flick from you to the brooch on your chest. She seems to consider something, and then she says, "It is admirable that you have come forward and you have addressed pressing issues of a place that is important to you. Know this, chosen one of the wind. We do not take these things lightly. The Amaranthine protect us and they guide us, and it is of utmost importance that you have been brought here and that you speak. Your words mean much to us, wind touched. You do not fall on silent ears. There are things that move and you do not know of. You will seek you an audience tomorrow in the morning. We will see what we can muster. Even if it is little, I guarantee that Alderheart will support Meadowfen however it can."
Ratchet provides a respectful bow of appreciation and turns to get out of their way quickly, both in a I don't want to be here any longer and also in a like, I can tell you're busy, there was a line, let me get out of your way, kind of like.
I will say with this exchange and with the deliberate movement of her eyes, Ratchet, you know that even though you tried your best, it was 100% in this moment, your wind-touched background here that carried it. For better or worse. I imagine that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
I imagine that feels
Goodness.
really shitty, but
Four dice rolls for a total of an 8.
yeah. Well, not an 8,
0, 1.
11.
It was an
0, 1,
11.
7, 0. 4 D20 for a total of 8.
Yeah.
That's why we give you the D6.
Right. So you have to.
Yeah, so Ratchet starts to scurry away. What do the rest of you do?
Jack, who had been standing at the edge of the light just behind Ratchet, follows them with their gaze as they go out before stepping forward into the light for a moment.
As you do, Ida's head has like turned away from you and she's already starting to like manipulate papers. She looks up and it's the sort of incredulous look of like, what are you doing? She looks at you.
Jack gives an exaggerated and a deep bow to the council and just says, "Never underestimate the terror and power of a single leader with a goal.
Ida just narrows her eyes at you.
And then Jack's going to step out.
Okay. Her head turns over to Leon and Hubert and Leif, and she says, "Is there anything else you want to add?"
I imagine Ratchet under his breath just going, no, no, no.
Feeling a little bit emboldened, I
Oh,
look
no.
her straight in the eye with just a dead set level look, and then I turn and walk away.
Okay. I rolled a 5. She didn't even look at you, Leif. And that's probably a good thing. Yeah, she essentially just turns away completely from you. She steps down from the podium, and the other council members begin to step forward with some haste, and they huddle and begin to talk to each other as the group of you escape the council chamber. You begin to make your way back down. You're now on the center plaza again, so you're in a public space, no longer in the chamber of the council. You meet up with Ratchet.
Yeah, put my hood up.
Yeah, you seem to do pretty okay. Better than I probably could have with my getup.
Believe Alderheart's position may be worse than we were led to believe.
Yeah, I don't feel too enthused leaving that meeting.
The whole city was burned to the ground, but they were more concerned over the leader of the bandits.
Is that the Benna Sheridan person they mentioned?
Jack nods slowly.
Oh, okay,
What?
that's where that name was. Okay.
What do they have to do with this? Or is it just more so bandit troubles?
Well, we've theorized someone is behind all of this. Jack, you recognize the name. Do you know any lore about this bandit leader? Are they the type that would burn a town in order to rummage through what did not burn?
Oh,
Go
Jack
ahead.
had spent about 7 years with the bandits.
Mm-hmm.
Just if that changes anything.
Yeah, go ahead and roll history at advantage here.
19.
Okay. You met Benna. Benna was a tall, imposing, scarred woman. A servant, a deer person, who wears a red bandana over her left eye. You know that she is the leader of the bandit coalition. Though you never had a private conversation with her, you have been in the presence of her, and you have heard her speak. You know that she's an idealist that believes Alderheart's canopy, the symbol of birdfolk in power, should be burned to the ground. You know that she is a powerful force, she is extremely charismatic, she is a dangerous warrior. She embodies everything that the bandit forces could possibly wish to be. You know she is an exceptional, dangerous person. And I feel that maybe, depending on how you felt and fit into the organism of being part of the bandit coalition, you probably found it to be attractive, or at least idealistic. Something like a celebrity or almost divine walking among you. There's a presence with Benna, and it makes sense why Benna is the leader.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
You mentioned that she's a servant, and I recall that very rarely servant have horns or antlers, and that is seen as like a symbol of sort of destiny. And since Jack has met this individual, is she one of them?
So, Jack, you know that she is not a pronghorn servant, which is there's one pronghorn servant in every generation. They are essentially chosen one of their people.
Mhm.
Anna is a grove servant, so she does not have antlers.
Okay.
But
My
Jack has
second
met a
question-
pronghorn.
Yeah.
My second question, just because it is a turn of phrase, but in this particular setting, it is potentially more meaningful. You said that she would burn Alderheart to the ground. Do you mean literally, or do you just mean wants to see it ruined? Okay.
For our
I didn't know if
audio
that was-
listeners, I just shrugged very suspiciously at the camera.
Okay. Okay. Because I was just thinking, like, if Jack knew that she very specifically was like, and I'm not joking, I mean for it, like, then like, but if it's kind of like, I don't know, was it rhetorical? Who could say?
So, as they're asked about this, Jack gets this faraway look in their eyes as they go back through old memories of back when they were part of the coalition. They sort of zone out for a moment, being unaware of those around them, before looking back at the others, and still almost in a daze, they say, "She was all consuming."
As you say that, and the first lights of brand new day begin to peek over the distant mountains, the peach color of a waking sky is slowly bleeding into orange as it gets brighter and brighter. For a second, it almost looks like the horizon is burning. A group of you slowly beginning to make your way down from Council Plaza. This is where we're going to end our session for today. Not without one last scene. A couple of weeks ago, in a different part of Alderheart, there's a hustling throng of streets. People are moving between them, going about their day. The branches are known as a place of modest homes connected by wood bridges and gliding platforms. This area is dangerous for non-birdfolk because without the ability to glide, there's most certainly a fatal fall. Unlike the other neighborhoods in Alderheart, there is nothing to catch you if you fall between these places. Ratchet, can you describe to me what your ex-wife looks like?
She was a Corvum, but a blue jay, which is technically part of that family. And she was a little shorter than most of her kind, but wore rectangular glasses and was often wearing some kind of like robe or something easy to store things in pockets and sleeves and all that.
Zoni is an extremely important person. Her work requires her to speak to a great many people and to try to bridge connections between them that might not naturally come. She is a translator. She speaks a great many languages and is a very bright person. As this blue jay begins to move between the trees, trying to make her way home, it is a particularly dark night. Cloudy, not even the moon casts any sort of brilliance through the canopy of Alderheart. She's trying to make her way home. Something is chasing her. She doesn't know who they are or where they came from. They found her, and they've been looking for her. She darts behind an old rickety building of one of her neighbors. He moved out a while ago, as soon as they heard of fires beginning to return to the Humblewood. So she doesn't have someone to turn to right now. Her heart is thumping in her chest. She waits in the shadow of this house. Time stretches. She's uncertain if she's alone or not. Just as she peeks around the corner to see if she got away, a shadow descends upon her. Ratchet, you have drawn the Donjon card.
That's my fate.
Someone important to you has been put in a very precarious situation, and they are trapped until you or someone else frees them. And that's where we're going to end our session for tonight. Thank you so
Every
much.
time.
Every time.
Every time what? I don't know what you're speaking of.
I just get that one a lot.
As soon as you said ex-wife, I was like, oh no, it's happening again.
It's happening again.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that I knew that that's what it was when it was drawn in like session 2.
I draw a card. I just look at you. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, Matt. Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much to all of our raiders. Thank you so much for the card draws, the natural 20s, all the subscriptions. Really appreciate everyone that was here tonight and everyone that's watching us through the VOD. Without you, none of this would be possible. Let's go around and do some outros here. Please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of today's episode was. And we'll start with B Street.
Hi, I'm Matthew or B Street Holmes. You guys can find me all over the place on Stella's Discord or on Twitter. And I think my favorite part was trading cloaks with Leif, because I've been trying to find the right thing to do with that ornate cloak since we started. I'm glad I found something good.
Excellent. It was very wholesome. I loved it. I will pass it on over to GeekDice.
Hey folks, I'm GeekDice. You can find me on X. A lot of fun tonight. I think my favorite part, there was a lot to do with Ratchet and his sister. And I found really compelling Ratchet reflecting on his sister as he remembered her and her lifestyle and her values, and the fact that that was absent or missing, there was a consequence. And that was a really touching moment. And it was I really jived with that. He was reflecting on what she had. So well done. You definitely brought the narrative there. Well done, sir.
Thank you very much. We'll pop on over to IncognitoBurrito. What was your favorite part of the session?
It's a tough one. I'd say maybe us trying to amp up Leon and prepare him to go in.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You find me hanging out on Stella's Discord or with these fine folks. Thank you for having me. Have a good evening.
Thank you. I'll pop on over to V.
Hey, I'm Vertigo or V. I am a variety game streamer over on Twitch. And as for my favorite part, I really, really enjoyed forcing Ratchet to be the face of the group and have to deal with the council.
And look what happened.
Because the whole time leading up to this, I was like, yeah, Jack's going to take care of this. Don't worry, I'll do all the talking. And then as soon as it comes up, here you go, you do this.
How dare.
Where can we find you?
I am on Twitter at cross_vertigo, and I'm on Twitch under Vertigo Cross. If you ever want to see some games you might not have seen before, you can come check them out.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And then Zombie.
Hello, I am Jacob. I'm Zombie. I am Z. And whatever names they have to call me, I am the lore keeper and Captain Z of the good ship Cliff. I probably do too many clips, so that's up to your own discretion. Today's favorite moment, a lot of them have already been kind of told. So I'm just gonna reiterate the connection between Ratchet and his sister, and the swerve of yep, here's Ratchet. Just letting that whole thing play out. The whole rowing a 0 and a 1 and then a 7 and a 0 just was
God.
Hooray.
The abysmal luck of that.
Hey, you got an 11. Listen, if Jack didn't roll out that whiteboard, right, you would have had a 4 or 5. You would have had a 5. That's a pretty big difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in fairness, I also had a pocket 20 sitting around, and I was like, no, it's a more interesting story if we allow him to maybe fail. And then look what happened.
Yes, exactly. So those are I think are my two favorite parts. And so I'm obviously gonna see what all transpires in the coming episodes between the ex-wife and finding and figuring out what all that's about. So y'all better stay tuned for that. It's gonna be real fun to watch. Speaking of staying tuned, if you go ahead and follow me on Twitter at ZombieFighter89 or on Blue Sky, you'll get a notification about every other Tuesday, every Wednesday when we do these particular streams on here. I do promo videos out of the kindness of my heart because I want to keep up my editing skills and stuff. And speaking of which, if you go there, there's a little Google Doc sheet of all the different editing jobs I've done. Not all of the promo videos are within the Google Doc because that would be a lot of stuff to all put in there. But there's a good handful of different ones that I've done over the past different campaigns we've had on here, clips and stuff. So if you're looking for anyone to be hired, that'd be awesome. And if you're looking to stick around here at Stella's channel, which I advise you to, tomorrow we're going to be having a fun little Strixhaven game where you'll see myself. If you're not sick of my face yet, then hooray for tomorrow. You also have V over there. Me and V will be in there as well tomorrow, where I get to play Alexander Thome. Thome.
Like
Boom.
boom.
Listen.
The thunder booms.
Doom.
Alexander Thooms.
I think, Stella, I'm cursed to say this right in front of V, because I said it right on the last stream.
You did.
And I did the shit right now. And then
You said it perfectly in Saltmarsh when
I
V
did.
wasn't there.
It's because you look at me and you're like, oh, I say it wrong every time. And
I
then
know, I'm like,
You get
I'm
too
gonna
much
do
into
it.
it.
And then, if you're interested in seeing Mr. GeekDice over there, we have a Secrets of Saltmarsh game that we just referenced too. That'll be on the Wednesday after that. There's all kinds of fun Patreon games here on Stella's channel. Please go follow here and follow Stella on all of their socials because they do amazing stuff outside of here too, and you should go support and watch.
Thank you very much. That's so kind. You can find everyone's links there in chat and also in the video description if you're watching us from YouTube. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And thank you so much to all of our Patreons who make this all possible. Have a good night, everybody. We'll be back not next Tuesday, but the one after on the 24th. See you later. Bye.